Sergey Brin, good evening.
Good evening.
Google, a company that was established 9 years ago, right?
Almost 10.
Almost 10, is now traded for the value of $181 billion, which is twice the yearly budget of the State of Israel, and makes you guys bigger than, I don't know, McDonald's and Disney and General Motors combined. And yet, you manufacture nothing. You produce an idea. Can you define for me the idea?
The idea is that we take all the world's information and make it accessible and useful to everyone. And that's our mission. And that's a pretty important mission. Ultimately, having the right information available to you at any time when you need it is extremely valuable. And it can make a huge difference to your health, to your career, to your entertainment, to your education, to all of the most important things about you.
Do you tell yourself, I changed the world?
I think that would be a little bit self-centered, but I certainly focus on what can I do better.
Does it ever worry you that since it came so rapidly, so fast, and so easily, it might go away the same way?
I think it has definitely been fast, but it has been 10 years. Mm-hmm. And it certainly hasn't been necessarily so easy at times. I mean, we've had to work really hard to accomplish what we have.
I interviewed once Bill Gates, and he told me, he was talking about the fact that he transformed, in a way he didn't like, from a computer person, from a programmer, into a businessman. I mean, your education is you're a computer scientist, and yet you're considered to be, whether you like it or not, one of the most successful and aggressive businessman in the world. It is probably some sort of a contradiction in terms for you.
I think I certainly enjoy technology very much, but I do think that with Google in my current position, I do have the opportunity to make a really big difference. And so I find that exciting, even if it's not in a direct technical capability as much.
Let me ask you a question that it is politically correct to ask only in Israel.
Okay.
A company that the two founders are Jewish. The first employee, if I recall well, was Jew. Many of the seniors are Jewish. Does a company like this have a Jewish character?
It's amazing how much the Israeli people are able to accomplish with few resources and short amount of time, and being really scrappy. And really achieving a lot. And I think that that's certainly a value that we share with Google. When we first started the company, we could barely afford the hard drives that we needed to store kind of the web at the time, which was much smaller than it is now, but the hard drives were also much smaller. Yeah. We finally got them. We needed to house them somehow. So we built this case out of Legos, if you know the children's toys.
Yeah, sure.
So we built a case out of those rather than buying a proper one. And we continued in that scrappy hardware tradition, just making by with what we could get.
It's to improvise.
Yes.
Also a very Jewish trend. There's another Jewish myth saying that after the company was already worth billions, your mother kept on telling you, listen, you have to go back to Stanford and finish your PhD instead of doing this rubbish. Is this true?
It's somewhat true. I do think my mom would be happier if I finished my PhD.
I Googled the word Jew. Uh-huh. And the first website that came on was a website called Jew Watch, which is an anti-Semite website of Holocaust deniers. And for me, I'm a second generation to the Holocaust. For me, it was enraging. For me, it was the moment in which democracy should have boundaries. And I guess you beg to differ. Well,
I also find the site enraging. An important part of our values as the company, though, is that we don't edit the search results. What our algorithms produce, whether we like them or not, those are the search results. And I think people want to hear and want to know that we have unbiased search results, even if we strongly disagree with them. It's a sad thing. Part of it is the state of the world. The world has a lot of anti-Semitism, and when people use the singular word Jew, like, oh, that person is a Jew, there is an anti-Semitic undercurrent to that phrasing.
You have The
if they were
power
to
in your
say,
hand to change it, don't you feel tempted?
No. No, I mean, I don't think I'm going to change whether those people are anti-Semitic or not. You know, it also might be a lousy search result. I'm not completely defending it, but it's very important to us that they be algorithmically derived, that nobody question the integrity of our search.
Listen, the other allegation that is always turned to Google is the size of the database. I mean, you know everything about me. I mean, your database conclude whether I like porn or what kind of business I'm interested in, what kind of people I'm looking for. And this is a scary thought.
Yeah, I would disagree with that, though. I mean, you're saying we know that you do that, but we don't actually know it was you. I mean, we know that some user might have searched for that particular set of things. Or more specifically, we know that perhaps there was a computer that did those things, and we don't know who was at it, and we don't even know if it was always the same person. Somebody else might have come up and done a search, and we don't even know.
But you can't you?
No.
If you direct yourself to say Mr. Lapid's computer, check, let's see.
We have no idea where Mr. Lapid's computer is. I mean, all we know is that somebody might have done those searches.
So the information is there, but it's just a huge database that is totally anonymous, or not?
I've never heard of any case of anybody's searches getting exposed by virtue of Google search logs.
Yesterday, I downloaded Google Earth, which I loved. And I was, wandering around, and I saw, and of course I looked at Israel, because this is where I live, and then I found myself looking at a satellite picture of an Israeli Air Force base.
Yeah.
And I got really scared. I say, if I can look at it, so can the Hezbollah. This is worrying for me as an Israeli.
Well, so we get our imagery, a lot of the imagery, the satellite pieces from satellite imagery providers. And those are governed by a set of rules. There are limitations on the resolution they're allowed to collect. High-ranking, at least officials at security agencies and whatnot, haven't found the risks to overcome the benefits. In fact,
it's not alarming, as I felt. Okay, cool. Then
well, I don't know. Is that base doing okay?
Yeah, right now nobody bombed it since this morning, as far as I know. Yes. You said this morning at the President's Convention, the kinds of improvements of quality of life we've seen in the past 15 years is just a hint of what's to come. What's to come? Tell me.
I think that certainly the kinds of comforts, as you said, we enjoy today are fantastic. I mean, being able to research anything online just like that, being able to purchase things. For example, you don't know right now, specifics about what I'm telling you right this very second. It's not that the world's knowledge is as available to you as your own knowledge and your own memories, right? But yet, I think that's where the trend can go. We increasingly have more and more capable portable devices, like with our cell phones, which are with us all the time. And we increasingly have better ability to understand, what might be useful to a given person at a given time, what might we want to alert them to, and whatnot. And therefore, I think in the future we will see the world's knowledge as an extension of your own knowledge.
Google has been winning for several years now, the #1 workplace to work for. And you supply your employees with 3 gourmet meals a day and entertainment and a gym that I saw beforehand. And are you afraid that there's a point that all this beautiful stuff is going to turn into a trap of honey which will make them work around the clock, or is this your goal?
I think we want our employees to be productive, and to be productive, it means working hard, but it doesn't mean working crazy, and it means it's important to have a life outside of work. We want to have a healthy balance, and we're very proud to have that #1 place to work.
You go down the corridor now, you see 2 guys playing the PlayStation. Are you looking at us? Don't you ask yourself, what are they doing? How come they're not working? They work for me. I pay their salary.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll ask them, what are you doing?
Okay.
And invariably, they are working on something important, and they have been working hard, and they just take a break to refresh, because if you just have blinders on, you're just sitting in front of the computer for hours and hours and hours, you're not going to be as good an employee.
Okay, I have the last question from my mother. Are you a happy person? I said to her, Mom, I'm meeting Sergey Brin today. She's not into technology. I said he's this mogul, but he's 34 years old, and he's got the whole world. And she said, okay, but is he happy? Are you?
I'm pretty happy. I can't complain.
Yeah.
But, many people I know who end up in a similar situation aren't. I mean, certainly that being very successful in your career early on doesn't necessarily mean you're happy. I actually take a lot of time and energy to make sure I'm happy generally. Play lots of sports. I was thinking of checking out your beaches, actually, here.
Oh,
next.
you should. It's the best part of the country.
Kiteboarding, maybe, if the wind's good. So, I think it is important to nurture yourself in a variety of ways, and I think happiness is a very important goal.
Sergey Brin, thank you very much.